Wow, look at this. We got everybody practically. Oh, Tim, you continue to do well?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Oh, what's on your mug?
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, this is from a family gathering that we do once a year. It's an annual shootout.
What does that mean?
We have a trap shooting competition.
Where do you do that?
Oh, that's out in California,
Where?
in Silicon Valley.
Cool. I was born in Palo Alto.
Oh, nice. No, I grew up in Santa Clara.
Wow. I was born in Palo Alto and I grew up in Claremont. We moved to SoCal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was. I miss it, sort of. Do you miss it?
It's not what it used to be. I go back every once in a while. I grew up with the orchards.
Oh, well, I grew up with orange groves.
There you go.
They smelled beautiful. They were beautiful. No more orange groves.
But no more?
No.
So they're what, housing developments now?
Housing developments. Yes.
Yeah.
Including, and this is an important fact, Snoop Dogg.
What?
Snoop Dogg.
That's
A great
singer, right?
neighbor.
Snoop Dogg lives in my town now. He built and he bought almost all of an orange field, and he built a huge palatial. And Snoop Dogg is very proud to live in Claremont
Wow.
with the colleges. So there's all the colleges, right? There's 5 colleges. There's all the colleges and Snoop Dogg.
And Snoop Dogg.
It's
Or-
cool.
Did he elevate the neighborhood or did he
You know, he's a really cool guy.
I think he's an interesting character
Right.
in a good way.
In a good way. Yep. Well, now that we've done the really important stuff,
Yeah. Well, the neighborhood I grew up in is the same way.
You don't have Snoop Dogg. Who
No,
you-
we don't have Snoop Dogg, but there was like our house and then there was a street and there was another row of houses across the street and then behind that it was cornfields for miles down to the creek and then it was woods for miles after the creek and now it's housing developments all the way.
Yeah.
And where was that?
Pennsylvania, right?
Pennsylvania Dutch country, yeah, near Allentown, PA, outside of Allentown.
When the family farms broke up, that was the moment that developers seized, at least in my area.
Did you, because you owned a farm up in Vermont.
That was Vermont, but in Andover, where I lived for so long, and both, the 128 technology and the end of these small farms and orchards, just that was it. The developers came in like vultures and
Yeah.
right before our eyes.
So a lot of people get to live there where it used to be just farm.
That's right, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yes, we are.
Nice transition. Well
Wow.
done.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I grew up it's turned into a bedroom community for New York City.
Oh,
Well, Melanie, you grew up in a bedroom community. Actually, wait, isn't it a borough?
It's a borough, yes.
Yeah.
And it is dramatically different from when I grew up. So the hospital I was born in is now a condo complex. So it's elementary school. So New York City just constantly changing and evolving.
And Brooklyn is gentrified a lot, right?
Oh, very much so.
So you're like, people can't Park Slope, forget about it.
Yes.
Wow. Where did people move? Like up Long Island someplace? Where did they move?
Where Bob lives.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yep. They put in a couple of limited access highways and it's a bedroom community. It's still a long commute into New York and back. It's like an hour and a half easily if you're lucky each way.
But there's probably public transport.
Yes. I mean, I don't know now, but at the time there was a bus service and there's probably now more than that.
So did
But
they,
Wait,
don't
it's
think
not where
there's-
Dan grew up. Dan, where did you grow up?
Belmont. And I didn't even know Nahanta existed 20 miles away.
who did?
Belmont's a pretty place, a good school. So that was
Yeah.
nice. And public
We-
transportation.
Oh, we're had actually we had trolleys on tracks.
That's
Oh, I
right.
remember that.
They went down on Auburn Street, right?
Exactly, right down.
Yep.
Wow, what a memory.
Spent time in Cambridge. I remember those tracks.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we do have a quorum. I was hoping Tony would join us, but maybe he will. We do have, we'll say welcome to Allison though.
Always.
You know, did you get in your run?
Tony said he'd be on in 5 minutes.
Oh, great.
Okay.
We need him for stormwater.
All right.
We need him more. We need him for a lot more than just stormwater.
Oh, Peter, where did you grow up?
Oh, where did I grow up? I grew up in Leominster, plastic capital of the world and home of Johnny Appleseed.
Really?
Yep,
Where was
Yep.
that, Peter?
Leominster.
Leominster. Yeah,
Oh,
when I was a kid, I actually worked in a plastic factory, but there were more plastic factories in Leominster per square mile than any other place in the world. I mean, there
Wow.
were plastic factories everywhere.
What kind of plastic? What were they making?
So Borden Chemical was there and they were kind of making the plastics. And then, so I worked in a plant that made, of all things, Joy dishwashing liquid tops, Barbasol shaving cream tops. They also made the little pool ball, kids pool games, little pool balls that were like the size of a grape. I actually worked in that department for a while. Yeah, it was probably the most famous, I guess, plastic factory would be Foster Grants. So we had a big, huge sunglass factory, and my mother was one of 11, and she had 5 sisters, and I think 3 of the 5 sisters actually worked at Foster Grants. And believe it or not, a little while ago, I was cleaning out my mom's basement and I was going through a box and I found a paper bag filled with Foster Grant sunglasses that I'm sure were seconds that my aunts brought home. Because we as kids, I probably had 10 pairs of sunglasses just because, you know. Yeah, it was a nice, it's a really nice city. I'm glad that I live in Nahant and not out in the burbs in the middle of nowhere. But you know, my parents had a house that was on 3 acres of land, 3/4 of an acre of land. there was a river that ran behind my house. If I crossed the river and got into Leominster State Forests, I could probably run for 8 hours and not meet anybody because it was a forest. I mean, it was a great place to grow up as a kid. In fact, until I came to Nahant, I always thought that I would settle down in that area, maybe build a log cabin or something like that. And then I found Nahant and sailing, and I was like, no, I'm not going into the woods again.
Yeah. At minimum, there's too many bugs there.
Yes, yes.
All right, well, we got a ton of stuff to do, so let's call ourselves to order. So it is, what does this thing say? 6:41. We do have a quorum of the Finance Committee, so it's Vanderslice, Beatty, Warren, McMacken, Bell, Warren, Dan, you appeared twice, Melanie, and Peter Barba. Did I say you, Tim? I forget.
Yeah, you did,
Yeah.
but you haven't identified a scribe.
I know.
Oh,
I'm hoping for a volunteer.
all right. I guess I should probably do it only because I haven't done it since I created the form. So
Oh, you have
Let's
to do it. Thank you. It's a good form.
Get rusty.
yeah, just got to give me a minute to pull one up.
Wait, did I do this all right?
I was thinking before this meeting, we ought to just hire a scribe the way doctors do.
Yes,
So it's funny because
we can just award ourselves the money to do it.
No, on the zoning board of appeals, we eventually got a tape recorder, and then somebody at town hall, one of the administrative staff, would listen to the tape recorder and, basically do our notes for us. But I don't know that, I don't even know if they still do it, but they did it for us for a little while.
But you know that Zoom will automatically transcribe everything.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's a
Wow.
special setting on Zoom, and my college folks taught me how to do this. There's a special setting on Zoom, and like 3 minutes after your meeting, it sends you a complete transcription of everything that was said.
Yeah.
I don't think we want that.
No, we don't. We don't.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I believe this is automatically recorded as well.
It says
Yes,
so.
it is.
It says so.
All right, I'm putting down 6:41 p.m. because it's 6:43 and I think 2 minutes have passed. Vanderslice, Beatty, Warren, Barba, Bell.
And Teams, which is kind of the Microsoft, well, that's damning it with faint praise, but Microsoft version of Zoom, it does way more than Zoom does. But anyway, if you
Okay.
have a meeting and record it, it will transcribe it. You can run it through an AI engine, and it will identify like a word cloud, so you can identify the key topics that were talked about, and it will also identify the topics that people's voices became agitated or more engaged in. So it will also identify the things that were viewed as the most contentious, controversial.
Whoa.
I don't
Yeah.
think we want that either.
And yeah, it's just, that's scary. It's just
Yeah.
scary.
They might catch
Oh,
you
so
at it with Tony.
Ghost in the machine. Don't like that.
Right.
All right, so Allison sent around an updated version of the warrant recommendations and supporting statements. So, which you can find in your inbox, or I'm going to just share the whole screen. Come on, Zoom, share. There we go. Share whole screen. Okay. Share. Right. So which looks like this.
No way to make it any bigger, I suppose.
Okay, yeah, we can make it bigger.
And that would be great. Nice.
Yeah.
Whoa, very nice.
Okay, now how do I make all of you people smaller?
Get rid of us.
Depends on what you say.
Yeah. That would be a Steve Martin quote, wouldn't it? Let's get
Yeah.
small. All right.
So let's just, we should just spin through this in order. The ones, and Allison, you preserved all of our highlights, right? So we're really just
Yes,
looking for
yep.
the highlighted ones. So Allison has added the salary and classification plan recommendation. It follows the format that we've been using, gosh, it seems like forever now.
Yep.
We're trying to lay out, just how salaries work, which is this set of opening paragraphs. And then salary and classification plan. This has been updated to reflect that study. And for a while, I was kind of hot and bothered that we mentioned that in here. I guess I'm starting to cool a little bit on that. But should we add a sentence that says this salary and classification plan reflects the results of a recently completed,
Classification study.
yeah,
I would put it in just so that people realize that, these are, I mean, the one thing that scares me is you're going to get, oh, that's starting salary range. Okay. I would just get nervous that people would look at it and go, well, wait a minute. Town administrators only get 125 to 139 and we're paying ours 181. That's not right. People have to understand it's the starting salary.
yep.
Okay.
Maximum is 181 over there. All right. So this,
Right.
let's see, classification. And Allison, what did we do? We compared this to other towns?
Hi.
Hey, Tony.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, I just got on.
So sorry, yes, Tony, they were just asking about the classification study and what it compared to. And yes, it did compare to other towns.
Yes.
Wasn't it comparable towns?
Comparable towns based on geography, population, and revenue stream,
Right.
similar to $13 million. And then it also compared it to the Economic Research Institute, which is a data set that consists of over 1,000 industries. And what they did was it basically based on job description mostly,
Mhm.
because job titles aren't really the perfect comparison all the time.
So part of the comparison was to private industry.
No, I think they mostly looked at municipal industry. That was part of that data set.
Is this going to be an appendix or is this going to be directly in the warrant?
What's that? This salary classification plan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, this has
is-
it's one of the first pages in the book usually.
so it's not going to be an appendix. It'll be right there.
Yes,
Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
and it's actually, I believe we reference it in one of the articles.
Yeah, so it's well, yeah. It's an article, salary and classification plan. And then, yeah, I mean, in 2021, it was Article 4. I don't know what it is this year, but
it's
it's one of
article, it's still Article 4.
okay.
Okay, okay, so then there's the planets, there's the salary ranges.
On the, if you, hold on a second, Bob, if you just,
Yep.
oh yeah, right there. We added reserve officers and call firefighters and accounted for their standard rate of pay range currently. That
Yeah.
hadn't been there in the past, but when we felt it was important to include that, we should have that in there.
That makes sense. And okay, and then again, this is our recommendation, but we have included in here the other town employees that kind of have other ways that their salaries are set, just more as a matter of disclosure than anything else. So it has the collective bargaining agreements, public works, police, fire. We also, again, as a matter as for disclosure, give the W-2, the range of W-2s. Because it's a little misleading to just present the collective bargaining agreement because they also receive work for detail work and some other things. So typically the actual take-home pay is larger than what's in the collective bargaining agreements. That's what this piece is. Uh-oh. Teachers, again, that's collective bargaining. There are a couple of, if we could get this to not break across the page, that would be awesome. I'm not gonna ruin anything. Here we go. Look at that. Okay. So there are a couple of positions that are just direct contracts with that employee. We talk about health insurance, and that's it for Article 4 anyway. Any discussion on this?
It's boilerplate, correct?
Yeah, yes, it's boilerplate. The numbers change every year, but the words don't really change. And I'll let you kind of look through that. I gotta step away for a second to find a pen. Okay, I'm back. Pen in hand. So discussion on this?
I'll make a motion that we approve as written.
I'll second.
Okay, give me a second to make a list of who's here so I don't screw it up by Samar, Peter, Deborah, Jim, Melanie. Who am I missing?
Joy's not here.
Joy
Joy
Joy is not here. Joy's the
Did
only
you
one.
include
here.
Dan?
Dan, that's what I
Yeah.
missed.
And Barbara
Yep. So, okay, I think I got it.
seconded it, right?
Yes.
All right, so motion made and seconded. Let's just do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, so unanimous vote in favor. Yay. Let's get just for housekeeping, let's get rid of the highlighted thing so we know we approved it. So to make this read right, we need it to say recommended. And that needs to be down here. Oops. Like that. Okay, off we go. Then the next one is Article 5. Again, this one's boilerplate. So
This one is what?
this one is compensation for elected officials. Right, so the selectmen earn $1, constable gets 50, right? And then the town clerk, which is an elected position, but it has more of a
Full-time position, yep.
yeah, full-time position salary attached to it. And I don't know what else to say about this one.
The only thing we could say, but it would be opening a hornet's nest, is to mention that as an elected official, since they're paid, that entitles them to a year of service in their retirement fund.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know that it's needed.
Is it?
Okay.
important? Yeah. Interesting, but
The dollar costs a lot more than the dollar.
oh, I
Right,
see.
right. Yeah, yeah.
But do they so even though the selectmen are earning, but they're only earning a pension based on $1 worth of salary.
It's a year's worth of service.
Yeah, it's just, it's
Right.
more about the service. So if at the end of, let's say at the end of a 20-year, Richie Lombard after 20 years becomes the town clerk. He has now 20 years of service and then the town clerk salary. So that would,
Yeah, but
Or
I don't
could.
know how it works. Usually
right,
the retirement benefit is based on an average of your last
right.
whatever
Three
year.
three to 5 years or whatever.
So it would be an average of 4 years of $1 and 1 year of
Right, right. Well, yeah, but if he did 3 years, then yeah. I mean,
Yes.
again, it's not I don't think it's I think for the town clerk, it's something that's, could after a long period of time be something that, has a bigger financial implication to the town, but I don't think the rest of them do.
I've known of other elected officials that very much valued that benefit.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Usually they do because they may have worked for the state or the federal government in that time. And I'll give you for instance, if somebody's working for the state and they need 30 years to retire and they've done 28 years, but they've been selectmen for 2 years, that may bridge their 30-year pension. So just that's why it's important to some people. In this case, I don't believe it affects anybody or the town financially at this point.
But isn't it based on your earnings though?
Yes, yeah,
If you're a
that's
part-time, if you're a part-time employee, there's a different rate by which you earn that year of service.
true.
And,
As I
and,
understand
and
it-
in the selectmen's case, not that it's necessarily guaranteed, but I don't think any of them actually even take the dollar. I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I don't think that makes a difference. And as it was explained to me, when you're an elected official, you're deemed to be a full-time. Because they're like, we're not gonna mess inside the issues. of
Yeah,
what
you're.
an
I think
elected
you're.
official does.
I think you're right. I think an elected official as a selectman, it's considered a full-time position. And again, it's not going to, I don't believe it's going to affect anybody in our roles. But it could, my wife is nearing retirement for the state. If she suddenly was elected selectman, maybe she could retire a year early because she has that extra year as a selectman, quote, with the state or with the city. So again,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Interesting.
But it's probably too complicated to put in here.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
Totally. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the verbiage as written.
I'll
I'll
second
second
that.
it.
I'll,
All right.
Oh,
so
thank you, Barbara. Then I don't have to change. I can copy and paste.
we're here to serve, Peter. All right. A voice vote, all in favor,
I,
Aye.
opposed? Unanimous vote in favor. Article 6, the omnibus. We usually just entertain a motion to approve the omnibus as presented.
I will make a motion to approve the verbiage as written for the omnibus.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Look, you can copy and paste.
Right, we'll leave it to Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
Um, voice vote on this one, all in favor,
I,
Aye.
all opposed? The ayes have it. So I suppose we should just go back and double check last year, but I think all we do is that with no discussion. Classification plan, there we go, boom, boom, boom. Oh, we do have a sentence.
It's pretty content free.
Yes,
so just put that in.
Yeah,
And the revised omnibus has the changes we made to what was presented to us before, i.e. a little bit more in the library staffing.
yes. Yes, Allison?
Yep, so it includes the increase to the library salaries, and I offset that with a decrease to the public health expense budget. So those would be the two changes.
All right, and
So that's the library. Yeah, it's actually the librarian, correct? Or assistant librarian?
And the children's librarian.
Yeah, it's the adult librarian and the children's librarian.
Right.
Okay,
Allison, thank you
salary.
for identifying that offset.
right.
Tony and I identified it. together.
And so what was the other one, the library? And you just said there was another one?
No, so the way that we offset the
Oh.
increase to the library salary budget was, we decreased the public health expense budget.
Okay,
And so as of now, that revised budget is approved by the selectmen and recommended by FinCom.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, the Board of Selectmen, Tony, they approved it last night, correct?
Yes, yes. Yes,
Cool.
correct.
all right.
And is this a true statement in the way the book is going to be organized, that the budgets are going to be presented immediately following the warrant and our recommendations?
Yep, it's the first appendix after this warrant with your recommendations in it.
I'm just, well, this one's a little different. These revolving funds, the way we left them the last time was we were going to add the whatever, the income statement here to the
Right.
bottom. But I don't, we didn't vote them, so I think we should probably vote these as well.
Right, you needed to, well, you had to add the income statement because a lot of these didn't have it last night. So what
Yeah.
article is this one?
This is Article 7, Water and
Okay.
Sewer. So, I mean, we discussed it, and I think we left it that there seemed to be general
Right.
agreement, but
Yeah.
they wanted to add this. So again, does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we
I'll
accept the
second.
verbiage as written.
No second.
Thank you.
All right, voice vote, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. So that one's okay. Water and sewer paving, we approved. Rubbish Enterprise is the same as the one we just talked about. So it, you know, we certainly discussed it, but we were waiting on that. That's now,
So what, what, article is this one?
this is 9, Rubbish Enterprise.
Okay. So
Yeah.
discussion we had last night and we just added the income statement.
Yep.
Therefore, I make a motion to approve the verbiage.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay, voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? The ayes have it. It is approved. Where I can, I'm trying to, recreation revolving, we talked about, we voted, revolving funds.
Do we need the income statement on that one?
Well, it's not an income statement. I think it was kind of similar. We just didn't have the spending limits, but it's kind of the same idea. We talked about it and just made a note that these had to be added.
We added spending limits. Okay, and that's
It's
Article
12, revolving funds.
12.
I'd love to know how you make that symbol.
Funds, okay.
I'd even love to know what that symbol is.
Neither, that's a good question.
The SOS symbol,
Yeah.
kind of, it looks like SOS.
Yeah, that.
I used to know what that was.
I think it looks like a barber pole.
Yeah, I used to know what it was, but I don't any longer.
I think it means section.
I was gonna say, I
Anyway.
think it means section.
Anyway,
Right.
does anyone want to make a motion on this?
Well, I mean, I don't care. I'll make another motion, but is that getting too redundant? Like,
No, and I'll second it.
okay, I'll make a motion to accept the verbiage as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, off we go. OPEB, we talked about stabilization. We talked about and did some editing to paving. We talked about and improved and made some changes. DPW capital. Oh, this is the is this one a question, Tony and or Allison? Does any of this come from free cash?
Yes.
Half, yeah, go ahead, if you have the split.
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up now.
Some is free
Um,
cash and some is retained earnings.
Yeah, 200,000 is free cash and 170 is from water and sewer retained earnings.
All right, so I'm gonna, when we get there, I think we can add this to the cover letter as well. All right. We haven't gotten there.
Wait,
So
Okay.
do
may
we
I
need
ask-
anything on this or just
Wait, may I
that's
ask a
informational?
May I ask a question? I
Certainly.
mean, I should have asked this years ago. What are retained earnings?
So
Free
it's similar
cash.
to free cash.
Oh.
It's just it's in the enterprise fund and it's basically your excess, revenue over expenditures for the year.
Got it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
They're both-
Undesignated fund balance.
Funds
Yeah.
left over from prior years.
Got it.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep. And
So I didn't
your-
notice this before, sorry, but the recommendation says to borrow. We're not borrowing for this item.
and we should probably put down that
It's
we're taking some from free
appropriating.
cash, we're appropriating. And we're appropriating from two places.
But we don't do that for all of the other ones, do we?
I thought we did. I thought you were literally supposed to direct, okay, we recommend appropriating 370,000 from which 200,000 is gonna come from free cash and 170,000 is gonna come from whatever.
So the
Don't we-
motion will say that. You don't
Okay.
necessarily have to say it in your recommendation. I think sometimes you have, sometimes you have not.
In that case,
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to say. Because
think
it's a good use of the funds.
Right.
Isn't it 200,000 from free cash
Yes.
and 170 from retained earnings?
Mhm.
So I move that we change the term borrowing to appropriate. Or appropriating.
Okay, hang on. I will do it. I just need to finish where we are here before I lose it.
Motion by Tim.
No, it's from retained earnings.
Yep, 170,
Is from retained,
170 is gonna be
From water and
water.
sewer.
water, sewer, enterprise, retained earnings
right.
for 300. My Jeopardy answer.
So
Final answer?
200K. 200K from free cash and 170 from water sewer enterprise retained earnings?
Yes.
Okay. Motion by Jim to. Remove.
Yeah, I guess the motion is to make the changes that Bob just did.
Okay, I'll second that.
All in favor?
I,
I,
All opposed? Unanimous vote in favor. Why doesn't it like pay off?
I know there's some, I'm looking, that's why I'm staring at it. It
You forgot
will,
the position off
It's-
in,
It probably wants you to put a hyphen, but that's incorrect.
no, it says we
payoff
forgot.
is
the
one word, I
position.
think.
Not if it's a verb, no, not like this. It's a noun it is, but not like this.
does it show one word there?
It's a noun. See, that's a noun, but if you want to say to pay off something, it's 2 words.
Yeah,
We don't
personal
want,
loan to pay off credit debt card, and there it's 2 words.
It
I
will
think I
pay
had
off.
checked that.
And here it will pay off.
In the long
You know what it
term,
wants us to say? It wants to say pay off
In the long term.
that's
That's
what
what
you
it was
mean. I didn't
complaining.
even get that.
That's what it wants.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the missing preposition it was complaining about.
Yep.
Oh,
All right. I don't think we need a vote on that.
We don't? To approve the verbiage that we just put in?
To approve the in the,
Well, no, but the change. Oh, we approved the change. Never mind.
we did, we just added in the, though.
Never mind.
If you want to record another vote in your minutes,
I'm already up to page and a half, so.
okay.
you're micromanaging those minutes.
Trying to, all right. What's next?
I don't know, I'm still just going down scanning for highlighted things or
Now
things.
it's CPC.
Now we get to CPC. We can't duck this any longer.
Nope.
And this is Article 20, correct?
Yes. 20.
Article 20, sub-article A.
I have a question right away on A. When this was written, it wanted 50 grand when they were gonna look at many sites. Now they're down to 1 site. Isn't that less work?
I can help answer that. Originally, it was to look at multiple sites.
Yeah.
The estimated cost, excuse me, the estimated cost for looking at one site was anywhere between 33 and 44. The architectural firm suggested that at 60,000, you could potentially look at 2 sites at the same time and have some savings. However, we narrowed this down to 1 site, but we added a financial analysis.
Oh,
That's right. I remember that now.
okay. That makes sense.
There's a period in the first, that period needs to be gone. Right? That one. Yep.
I don't think the supporting statement from the CPC is very good, or certainly not very clear, but that's not our call, so.
We can't fix that. That's
No,
them.
I
Right?
just
Yeah.
think it's not doing them any service. It's too.
Oh, my comments there were about the housing production plan. CPC applicant.
Right.
So
but
you're looking at the Flash Road Master Plan.
I'm looking at the supporting statement. Oh, am I? What's it?
A is the Flash Road.
Oh,
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry then. Forget that. I was jumping ahead.
Oh, it's long. Any more comments, edits? What is it?
It doesn't like the comma after activities. Bob, see that comma? It doesn't like that.
Yeah.
There you go.
And what doesn't it like here? More concise.
I think as yet should be hyphenated, maybe.
Maybe he doesn't think we need as yet, just unspent.
A yet. It wants it. It
No,
wants
Yeah,
it.
just
it
there.
wants a hyphen, I mean, a hyphen with, between as and yet.
I don't think you need the yet, just from and unspent. Take out the yet. There you go. Take out.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
right.
go.
That's better.
Well, this looks good to me. I would make a motion that we approve of this wording.
All right. Is there a second?
Peter seconds it.
There's no copy and replace, but
No,
Over.
but yeah, but it's really easy. I just swapped the names.
all right. All in favor?
I
I,
All
Aye.
opposed? The ayes have it. We move on to the next one, which is Heritage Trail.
correct.
And this is sub-article B.
This is right. This is sub-article B.
Correct.
Oh, sub-article A was what?
That was the Flash Road Recreation Area Master Plan.
Inappropriate private incursions. I like that phrase.
Sounds kind of louche.
It does. All of a sudden, I'm thinking of some. Woo!
I know.
This one here is Heritage Trail, right?
Correct.
Wonder who came up with that? That's good.
I don't know. I don't know who.
I move we recommend this.
I second.
Right. Well, it's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, so Peter, this is now sub-article C, which is
That's the Little
lighting.
League lighting.
Yeah, hold on one second. So Tim Bell and Barbara seconded.
Mhm.
Okay. Next sub-article is which one?
C.
Yeah,
And
the,
this is-
well,
It's about the lighting of the Little League field.
Okay, if I change that to an of from a to.
Yeah, Better.
All right.
Maybe just say, I know I'm wordsmithing this to death, but just the lights.
Yeah, that's fine.
We okay? Is there a motion on this one?
Go ahead, Tim.
I'll make a motion to,
I'll second.
Okay.
sorry,
Uh,
sorry, Stephen.
That's all right.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. So we are moving on now to sub-article D.
And this one is,
With the housing study for Goddard Road, yes?
no, for Greystone Road.
Sorry, yeah, Greystone Road. I always knew it began with a G. I don't know what I was thinking. After I'm done with this in a second, give me a second. Over there. Let's indent that. That. Oh, what have I done?
That's all part of the supporting statement.
I know.
Yeah.
But back to our recommendation. Well, actually, let's start with the article. I thought they had changed the words of the article to specifically reference Greystone Road and to specifically call out some of the deliverables.
Did you ever find a way to delete those of us who, to make us smaller at the right so we can see the whole, I can't see the whole page.
Oh,
I mean, I can see most of it, but some of us are, and I don't know how to change that.
Yeah, they're supposed to be, yeah.
I can't find the little view thing that, I mean, I can find the view thing, but I can't figure.
no, no. I think if you hover over it or hover over the top of the picture,
Isn't there a plus and minus near the, somewhere on the picture, like left side would be plus and right side would be minus? If you click on the minus sign, it eliminates the picture.
no, in mine, if I hover over the top of the pictures, a little bar pops up with 4 different choices for how a style of how the pictures appear, and I choose the leftmost one, which looks like a thick underline, and it makes them all disappear.
It does, yay, thank you.
All right, so back to the wording of the sub-article.
Problem there, you can't, actionable, it doesn't seem to me the right word. That to me says something that you can legally take action against. But I
Right.
guess it must have another meaning.
Well, first there was the question, either Allison or Tony, is this the latest version of the warrant sub-article?
Correct. Did they add Greystone? Did they change the wording?
No, they didn't change the wording for the article. They changed the wording in their supporting statement.
Okay,
And we can make sure that Greystone is included in the motion.
Yeah, you got to make sure it's in the motion.
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll go through all those motions a few days before the meeting like usual.
All right, so that being said,
So Deb,
Hold on a
you were
sec.
saying you didn't like the term actionable. I just wanted something where we're gonna use this information and actually do something with it.
Yeah, I got that, but to me, unless I'm
Tony and Allison, I'm
crazy,
looking up,
actionable means something that can elicit a lawsuit against it.
I'm
Am I
sorry,
wrong?
can we go back to the article? The last version that Lynn sent on April 11th, she did change the wording of the article.
Yeah, thank you, Melanie.
So we received that email from Lynn on April 11th, Tony and Allison.
I must have missed that.
Yes.
Yeah, which date was that? What was the date?
The date
April
was
11th.
April 11th,
And that was from Lynn?
Lynn Spencer, yes. And it's titled CPC Article Draft, April 11th, 24.
Yep, I do see that now, Melanie.
Yeah, it's that first one there.
Good catch.
No, that's 410. It's 411.
This,
One up above it, I think.
It's the one above. Yep. There.
Actually, I think, excuse me, I think what Lynn sent is what the Board of Selectmen voted on, but isn't what you're looking at. So we may have
Correct.
sent you the wrong thing. But I do think it's been approved by the selectmen.
all right, so are we okay if I find this in here, if we find the right wording? Yeah, so. Yeah, town-owned Greystone Road property.
Yeah.
And it enumerates. So we should,
That's the wording.
so, I guess it's Allison in particular, since you seem to be the guardian of the document. Are you okay if I copy and paste this in?
Yep, that's fine with me.
Okay. I wonder if any of the others changed.
Oh dear.
That's pretty.
And that's not Times New Roman.
I know. We'll fix that next.
I think it's a list.
And I think is that Calibri or whatever?
That's whatever.
Arial.
Our
Arial.
little-
Oh,
our
it's Arial?
our font that Microsoft uses.
Oh, yeah. The whole warrant is Times New Roman, right?
Yep, we're fixing that right now.
Good.
Okay, and does that kind of track with the way the rest of them are? To appropriate, okay.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Melanie.
So now we're working on the word actionable. Deborah's question about that. Can we think of some other word?
Well, I may be wrong. It's just
No,
none of
it
you-
is a word that you use in lawsuits. I agree.
Yeah,
So, and I did, by the way, just read the finding, but we can talk about that another time.
Okay.
East Point finding. Potentially, you could just say something simple, like potentially useful. I don't know if that's too,
Yeah.
anything but actionable would make me
Yeah.
happy.
yeah, like useful.
Let me suggest something here. So this is the draft of the cover letter, which you may not have read, but in discussing it, that's the phrase that I used. Is that getting closer?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
same thing, but it says more. I like it. Is that
Is
what?
it- You say the possible Greystone Road project, it should be a possible, right?
Yep.
Is that what she meant by actionable, that it can be serve as a model?
Well, I
Yeah.
use the term actionable, and yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
Oh, that's you. Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, then that's good what you have, Bob, or whoever.
Okay, so how do we incorporate that into minutes? Small investment of funds by the town to
Provide, just
To
forget the
provide.
generate, get rid of the
Right.
generate.
Yeah, that's Tim's engineering background.
information for residents to evaluate a future, should it say a future possible?
No, that's.
I don't think you need it.
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
future's implied.
Yeah,
Right,
And can serve as a model for other potential housing projects.
yeah, that does it.
And then
Yep.
we get rid of this.
Yeah, we get rid of that.
And you, I don't think we should say information helps inform.
So this will help.
Yeah, this will help inform.
Wait. You're going too fast for me. There we go. Okay. So what? What?
Take
This
out
will
the word
help inform.
information right there.
Take out the.
Information
misinformation.
will
Yeah.
help.
The
So will,
study, or whatever it's called. Will help us.
You
This-
don't, yeah, this will inform.
or the results of this study will.
Well, this study is pretty, we don't want to make it too many words.
yeah,
This study will, you need a will. there.
inform.
You need to, yeah, will. There you go.
Doesn't make sense. This study will inform a town discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You don't
will.
inform the discussion, you
this,
inform
this
residents.
gives us the basis of information to have the political argument.
I think it will inform residents for discussion or something.
Yeah.
That you don't inform a discussion.
Right, that's my
Oh, I
point.
see what you're saying.
This study will provide information for a discussion
I think just inform residents. Well,
or
whatever.
inform residents for a discussion.
Right,
Yeah, that's good.
that's good. Or,
It's actually gonna involve a town discussion.
Even better.
Yeah. Well, facilitate is actually a good one.
I don't mean to get involved in your
Yeah.
wordsmithing, but just wanted to add that. And then I don't know if you want to add to the end of this, which is something that continues to come up in conversations that I'm having with people, is a sentence at the end that says, this article does not authorize the sale or the development of the parcel. It is just a study. I don't know if you want to make that
Yeah, I
even
like
more
that,
clear.
Tony. I actually do like that.
I think it's important to add that. Yep,
Yep.
We don't want to give any more information in this or in an appendix, do we? Of the, some of the information that Tony provided in his answers.
Does
to
not
Bob.
authorize.
Deborah, I'm going to put a supporting statement as well, which makes this long, but I'm gonna try to create a supporting statement from the answers that I provided from the questions that Bob put together.
I think that's a fabulous idea. And they were like, this is just my opinion. I looked at it carefully and there are about 4. It doesn't need to be the whole
I would
thing.
say this or any other property.
Yes.
Tony, it would, there were some nuggets in there about, I don't know. It wouldn't need to be very long, but it would be really great, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna be as concise as possible because this one's already pretty long. So I'll just try and
Important.
be concise as possible.
There's information in there that is really valuable and that people should know.
Mhm. I think so too. And on it, I said to Bob earlier, those questions helped
Yeah.
me see it from that perspective. So the answers should
Yeah.
help the readers.
It's absolutely excellent, except for the length, but you're gonna do something, that's good.
we have a down here to the town about, rather than speculate about any impacts of such a development, this study, isn't it will present? Or do you want will or would?
You're way ahead of me. I'm
Oh,
still,
sorry.
I'm struggling with this inform residents and facilitate town discussion about housing development about housing solutions, and I don't know.
Mhm.
See, I
Yeah.
guess what I don't like about that is that sounds very broad and general, whereas this study is very specific.
Good
Yeah.
point.
And it's specific for affordable housing, right?
Well, it's specific for affordable housing in this location.
Right, so
and
this
that's
study
all.
will inform residents and facilitate a town discussion about affordable housing at this location, on the, at Greystone Road.
Yep.
Let's not beat around the bush.
Yeah.
I would put in a potential housing development at Greystone Road. That might save a little angst for people.
He's already got potential in there once.
Do you?
But
Yep.
the-
Oh, okay, I see it. Right above it.
It's a potential.
Right.
Potentially a potential.
I would, maybe, how about a possible parcel? Instead of the possibility of, just for less wordiness. Or is that too, not accurate?
Well, it's not a possible parcel, possible development would include, and the important thing there that I think people always get mixed up about is we are not directly subsidizing any affordable units.
Yeah, that was clear in the answers to Bob's questions too.
Well,
So I would suggest that that sentence start with a possible development
Mhm.
would include
There you go.
several affordable units, which would be subsidized not by the town, but by the other developed units.
Yep. No, it's a possible development. It's not the.
No, hang on, wait till you see the rest
Oh,
of it.
okay.
And I don't think you have to say Greystone Road again.
Right.
Should we say maybe something like,
A possible development would include.
Mhm.
like that?
Okay,
Concept is sort of odd.
Yeah, it is.
and
I
again, it sounds less specific.
exactly. I don't like concept there for that reason.
Design, perhaps, or plan.
Yeah,
Let's-
plan or design.
It's not a plan, it's not yet a plan or design. It's neither of those two things.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
It's something
What is
before.
it? That's important to say. That's one of the problems with this whole thing, is what the deliverable is.
But we know that any development that we want to focus on would include several affordable units.
Yeah, why don't we say the development would include, or a development might include, or something
That's
like
why I
that,
was thinking A instead of the.
and not have a,
See, I'm I'm stuck on the because that refers directly back to Greystone Road and limits it. Where if we say a development, we've broadened it
Oh,
out.
I see. I see.
Okay,
you send the report instead of develop, well, no, I guess not.
the development,
But it's the report that's gonna, no, it's the development.
is expected to include the
That's
development. I don't know.
How about
Yep,
just,
something.
you don't want too much verbiage in here.
Yeah. Any development would include.
Yeah, that's good.
Or
Right.
maybe you can go back to the study and say, this study includes an assessment of affordable units, which would be subsidized not by the town, but by other units.
She's right. That's what I was trying to get at. It's the study that includes. That would include, or whatever Melanie said.
Melanie, you said what would include an assessment, right?
Yeah, so it would include an assessment of affordable units.
Oh, I'm pushing the wrong button.
So I took out the word several and instead said assessment.
Would include.
Could we say an assessment of possible affordable units? Or is that a problem?
I'm under the impression that it will absolutely have several affordable units.
Well, good. I think that's a good, I like that.
And so I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't,
Yeah,
soft
no
pedal.
possible. No. That was a mistake on my part. Yeah, assessment, that gets at the idea that it would be, assessing it and thinking, yeah, I like that.
Instead of other, is it possible to say the more clearly distinguish it from the subsidized? Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, that's good.
With a hyphen between market and rate, according to me.
I just thought of a question that it's probably more appropriate for the housing committee, but I don't know. Maybe you could answer this, Tony. What happens if we come up with a plan and we put it out on the market and no developer bids on it? Where does that put us on our safe harbor?
Well, the safe harbor is, if you approve the HPP, you get 2 years of safe harbor. To
Right.
extend it, you have to prove development.
Yeah,
of
but what
actual
happens
units.
if no developer comes in because the numbers don't work out? Because I don't think the numbers are gonna work out.
That was one of the things I thought we asked for in the scope of the.
Yeah, I thought they were clear. The initiative was to go after Glam, and even if Greystone is fully developed, we're still an acre short. But basically, it goes back to my original point that we don't need protection from 40B because the marketplace protects us. Nobody can afford. Nobody can make $1 trying to do this.
Yeah, but.
Well, that's my question. I guess I asked the question in a different way, Dan, which is, what if we go through all of this work, we come up with a plan, and
Right.
I don't know, I just read something where it said less than 25 units or something.
We get 2 years. We get 2
So
years.
we get
to do the plan.
2 years, and 2 years from now, we're out on the street bidding this thing, and there isn't a developer that steps forward that says, well, we can't make any money, we're not gonna bid on this, and we get no bidders.
And we're naked.
do
And we're naked, just as we have been for the previous 30 years without development
No,
because of the
Dan,
marketplace.
Dan, the
Well-
previous 50 years.
Oh,
Well,
it's only
Danica.
50. Okay.
It's only 54 years, I think, to be
Yeah, I mean,
exact.
We're planning for a
So-
space attack here. It ain't gonna
Well,
happen.
guys, as I said before, the process of the HPP community process, we identified more than just, the
Right.
need of trying to meet 40B. there are a lot of people in town that are looking to downsize and stay in the hunt.
I'm one of
So-
them.
Yeah, right. So it's possible that through this development study, that we come up with something that, is gonna, be attractive to folks like that, right? And we might put something out that, is gonna be 75% market rate and only 25%, affordability at like an 80% level. And, the town, I guess, the town can negotiate with a developer on the purchase price in order to make it work for them if we are trying to pursue affordable units. But all that comes down the road, after this study, after we go through this process and try to come up with, what the goals are, what we're trying to accomplish.
That was Peter's, point, though.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard to kind of say. It's a question of like whether anybody's going to bid on a project that we haven't even created a conceptual design for yet is hard to answer.
Well, and
Right,
do you-
but that should be a deliverable of this study is.
yes,
Yeah,
is-
Yeah,
what-
the probability and statistics of what it's gonna take for us to get there.
And what we could do to make it attractive to a developer, if
right.
anything.
But Tony's point, we could pay him to take it and still come out ahead. We'd come
Well,
up with 15
if-
units worth of $750,000 that we get taxes on forever.
Yeah, but
Well,
what,
if-
Good thing.
You're right.
If a developer would typically pay $3 million for the property, and then that's factored into their formula of how to make money. But the town is willing to give it for $2.5 million in order to get them
Exactly.
to build affordable units. That's how you do it.
Well, and the-
Well,
Or you
I
give
understand-
them-
Affordable units are nice, but 75% market rate taxed units are better for us. I mean.
But as I
Yes.
understand, the result of this study is gonna give us exactly that info.
well, I hope
Yes.
so.
Yes.
it's-
well, can we look at Michelle's list of deliverables under the supporting statement?
I don't, even if someone bids on this, odds are we're not gonna accomplish 40B permanent safe harbor with this one development.
No,
No.
and that's not what I'm asking, or saying. I mean, you have a Greystone Road. I don't know what the value of the property is. I'm gonna say it's more than $1 million for sure. And, maybe it's, as you said, use your numbers, the $3 million piece of property, does the town sell a $3 million piece of property for, whatever, pennies on the dollar or whatever, 50 cents on a dollar so that we can get these houses built, or,
Right, or is it a temporary tax break while during development, or is it?
Right.
Or is it a break on permitting fees and things of that nature? Those are all different types of things that hopefully we're gonna be informed about, of different options that these
right.
development
That- I mean-
agreements have considered in other towns.
Right. I mean, that's the other thing too, is not only should this, not only should the committee be looking at and waiting for this particular, report, but there are 351 communities in Massachusetts. There's got to be a few that have already dealt with this or are dealing with it and already have written plans and things like that that we could use as analysis.
I mean, I don't think that this is a possibility, but to put it out, I mean, if a architectural firm came back and said, unless you do X amount of units, which the town is not comfortable with, then it's not going to be financially feasible for a developer unless you give it away to them for free. Well, the town might look at that and say, this isn't worth it. and we're not gonna bring it to the town meeting to pursue. You
Right,
know,
right.
though, all those things are gonna be worked out. I don't think that's gonna be the scenario, but that I just, just to let you know, like all that stuff is hopefully gonna be figured out through the study.
I don't know about this kind of thing, but wouldn't the market rate be fairly high on those units? I mean, because of the location?
Yeah, the waterfront, not waterfront, but water views.
I mean, so that would maybe be a little bit of carrot to the developer.
Well,
Right.
it means, yeah, but it means they can sell some of the units at a, high rate. But
Well, I mean-
other units that are gonna be affordable or marked affordable they will not be able to sell at premium rates. They have to
No, I
do
know.
it at the
I know, but-
affordability number.
But if it has at least if it has a high, if they go for a high number, that does offset a little bit what they lose on.
Right, but you gotta look at the number of units to be built.
Well,
So
isn't
the more units you build, the more profits you can make. But, and the more affordable units you can have, but is that what we want as a town to have? You could build a high rise there, be great. You could we could make our affordable housing numbers and whatever, but it may not be the best thing for the town.
Right, exactly.
the percentage of the two types of units, whether it's big or small, doesn't that remain the same? I mean, the rate, the
Yeah,
ratio, the cheaper one, the subsidized to the market rate. I mean, there are more of the market rate ones, right?
Right. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but I mean, you're still talking about the cost of the land and the cost, you're looking at $350 to $500 a square foot to build a location. Probably less because maybe you're building units, one unit, one large unit that's subdivided or whatever. I'm just, throwing out numbers that building is so expensive today. It's not funny. It really isn't. Believe me, I've been doing some research and it's very, very expensive to build a new house these days. So building a large building, is, I know they're doing it, but how big of a building do we want? Or how small of a building do we want, I guess is the question.
Well, to get the aircraft back to 30,000 feet, I think we have a clear mission to tune this up a bit and drive on.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think this is well articulated as it is. And I think that this is obviously a huge topic of discussion for the town and for us. Hopefully the housing production plan folks will weigh in. I guess they canceled their meeting tonight. But let's take another scrub at this. And I mean, I see it as 99% there right now.
I agree.
Right. While you were talking, I was scribbling away. I'm thinking that we don't want what I was scribbling here.
I mean, yeah, I think we have I think we have what we need.
Okay, so let's get rid of this.
And I also think, Bob, that, I mean, look what happened with COVID. I mean, we can't have something that suggests that this is what the value is going to be. I mean, there's too much uncertainty.
Right. Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
I think about, based on your question, Peter, I think about the old Coast Guard housing development process, right? That went out to bid twice, right?
3 times.
Three,
But who's,
three committees.
but three times, but who's counting? Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean,
I guess
Yes,
the
we
answer
had-
is we go back to square one.
yeah. I mean, yeah, no. Should we at any point in this put in that this is one phase, one prong of many things that we'll be looking at? I mean, this isn't the this isn't, you know, like, we could come back with this study and the study could say, you can build XYZ on this property. And, oh, by the way, you can translate these buildings to other properties in town, or it could come back and say, no, it's not going to work. You know,
So,
you got to start over again. But regardless, this is a piece of a larger puzzle.
well, it does say in the first sentence, right where he's at, that it can serve as a model for other housing projects.
Right. But I just think that, you know, this is one. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the difference between, okay, so I used to teach next to the Bromley Heath Housing Project. And so when I was doing that, the term housing project had very
Negative
problematic.
connotations.
Yes, very problematic connotations.
Yes.
So, and here we're using the word housing project, and then we're using the wording housing development. Housing development does not, although people don't like the term developer in some ways, housing development doesn't have the connotations of housing projects.
Right. We should definitely not put projects, because this is not a housing project.
Thank you. That's where I was going with this. I don't like that wording.
Projects. No, she's right. You're right, Barbara.
Yes. Yeah. So in the first, second line down, evaluate a possible housing project. Would be a
That should not be
housing
project.
development.
It has to be
Yes.
development. Yes.
Yeah,
thank
it
you.
does. Yep. I went to college next to I think it was the Ruggles
Oh, yeah, I
project.
know that one too. Yeah.
I went to Wentworth Institute. So I like my dorm room overlooks St. Botolph Street, or St. Oh, I think it was St. Botolph Street. I live next to the Mission Hill Fire Department, the busiest fire department in the country.
Oh, I know that because I taught right near there. I
Yeah.
taught at the foot of Mission Hill.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that fire department, you could say their average call was 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes, they would come back to the station, and within 10 minutes, they would be back out on the road again.
Oh, I could hear the constant clanging.
Yeah.
I was at absolutely, but we've got another housing, you got to take out next line for other potential housing developments, not projects. That has, there you go, down
Yeah,
one
right there. Potential developments.
Yep. Yeah, thank you, because that term is just not.
Right. It is a project, but if you use it in the term of building houses, and you're building a project that has that, negative.
Well, people call it that. They'll say, I
Yeah.
used to live in the projects.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And that was not a good thing to say. I grew up in the projects.
Yeah.
So,
Unless
Bob, in the sentence you're working on, take out as now envisioned, because the whole point of this study is to give the town a vision of what this what this development could be.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Melody. Good.
And if you go back up to the first sentence, it says this article represents a small investment town CPC funds to provide information. You're forgetting a word.
of. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
This thing looks pretty good.
Permanent safe harbor from state law.
That's not right. It should say from unfriendly 40B,
Well,
but I don't know why I don't like that phrase.
It
I don't
is
like
what it is. It's unfriendly 40B,
Unfriendly development.
40B development.
does everybody know what unfriendly means?
So an unfriendly 40B development is a situation where a developer would acquire a piece of land. It could be anybody, could be I sell my property here on Emerald Road to a developer and he's going to build a 30-story high rise right in the middle of this street. And as long as 25% of the units are 40B, because we don't meet our 40B requirements, he can build what he wants to build and not have to follow zoning bylaws.
Well, it's like that Davis Amendment thing, but in a different situation.
So that's what an unfriendly 40B development is. What we're trying to do is get a plan put together to build friendly 40Bs, which are 40B developments where the developer comes in, we give him, as Tony said, maybe some tax breaks or some other things, and he builds what we ask him to build that includes 40B.
Right. I just think that not everybody knows that term unfriendly used that way. And if there were a substitute adjective, it would be.
There actually is not. It is an unfriendly 40B is the actual term.
Yeah, it's a term of art.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Of course,
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
of it. I just didn't
Yeah.
know it.
The people who don't know that term don't care.
Really right.
So going back to what Dan said, I make a motion to accept this as is. And
Well, wait, before we do that, there's just one word in the second line that we need to change, that the in front of study needs to be a study. A study. There you go. So let me just read that line again. I need to scan that. And a study, and we need a that after it, and a study that can serve. There, that does it. Now it scans.
I second Melanie's motion.
Yeah.
Okay, and Melanie, are you okay with those dramatic changes?
I am, Bob.
Dramatic
I'll
and
second
important.
it.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Excellent. And this is actually well done. Yay. Good work. No, wait, before we go on, why does it not like the word permanent?
It wants an A there in front of it.
Does not provide a here.
A. Permanent. Make your space.
I'm trying. There it goes. Okay.
Yep. See, that's what it wanted.
All right. And I'm just going to take it on faith that nobody is on into
It's a grammatical correction. I believe grammatical corrections are exempt from needing to revote.
Okay, I like it. Well, it's called the
Bailey's Hill.
All right. That is, what is it? E?
E, but we do not, I have not seen a recommendation on this one.
Dan, you were going to write the recommendation.
On Bailey's Hill.
Yeah.
I basically took the supporting statement from Lynn and left it at that. I mean, I thought it was pretty comprehensive, and it really explains that maybe it's too much, if anything.
So you don't think we need a separate supporting statement of our own?
I think she's pretty comprehensive here. I mean, there's not a lot more to go into it.
So
But
what is the actual title of the article? Bailey's Hill Restoration?
I think it gets a title. It's just E.
Oh. Yeah, I just like to. Bailey's Hill Restoration is what I want to go with. Sorry. All right.
Okay, so if that's, have we been putting a full colon after that or not? Sorry, guys.
So
Yes, okay. So is this as simple as we say recommended we endorsed the supporting statement from the CPC below?
that's what I was just going to say. Is
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would say FinCom recommends this and endorses you know, the supporting statement from CPC. Yeah,
Correct.
that's,
Yep. Recommended with endorsement of supporting statement from CPC.
With endorsement.
Yep, with endorsement. Or recommends with endorsement of, yeah,
Recommends the article with endorsement of the
Exactly.
support statement.
yep. Yep.
It's right already. How did I do that? Mhm. All right, we didn't vote this one, did we? So, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept, approve the verbiage.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Sub-article F. $50,000. Oh, this is the wheelchair,
Yeah, the beach accessibility.
that. Right, equal access to those. If you say equal access, don't you need kind of the other half of it?
What would that be?
It's equal access to the beach, to the beaches
Oh, that's the right way to say it, though.
for
Yeah,
those
but
who,
if you
maybe.
say equal access, that applies two different parties, and we've enumerated one of them, those who have been unable. Don't we need to?
Well, let's leave out equal. Wouldn't that do the job?
Yeah,
Yep.
that would.
Yeah. Yep.
And wouldn't you put ADA access?
I wrote this one and I didn't know enough about ADA stuff to include that, though I thought of it.
It would be ADA.
This is,
access.
I mean, that's what we're putting down as ADA accessible mats.
Exactly.
So I would say provide ADA access.
ADA compliant, correct.
Yep.
Now, to get the ADA compliance, will we have to have someone come in, just out of curiosity, because we need to move on. Does someone have to come inspect it? Or does the installer know it?
No, it doesn't, doesn't need to be inspected as long as you meet
As long
the
as-
requirements, as long as it meets slope and material that's acceptable under the ADA law.
And so the people who install it know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great. Yep, good. And doesn't there need to be a hyphen between ADA and a compliant?
It's about to be the.
Yeah.
hyphen.
I'll make a motion that we approve the verbiage as written.
I'll
Second.
second.
Thank
All
you,
in favor?
Barbara.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, so Peter, we're moving on to sub-article G, which is the Boulder Scramble.
I gotta tell you, I wrote this and I sent it to you and then I had to go back and say, did I send that? Did I write something?
I think you want to say this would also add climbing or provide, but not both.
And it doesn't have to be to improve the grading and stabilization to scan,
Sees the need to improve.
improve the grading.
No, you don't improve, stabilize.
Oh, okay, you're right. Yep. So it's improve the grading and stabilize. Got it. Thank you. It's good the way it is.
I actually, you know what? We have in there, provide climbing and exercise for the children of the Johnson School. I think we actually need to take out the Johnson School. I
Say
know it's
community.
located, I know it's located at the Johnson School, but it's basically the children,
For all children.
for all children,
Yeah.
for the children. I never thought I would say that.
Well, don't take out the all because this may not be ADA compliant. So just
Right.
say climbing and exercise for children and take out Johnson School, period. For children, period.
I would say children of the community.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm. I was looking forward to going down and using this. And
You
I'm-
could put, all right, so the children of the community and Bob Vanderslice. Actually, yeah. Who knows? It could be adults that use it, but
Hey, here's a tiny thing. This project also has the support of the Nahant Garden Club, who pledged 822 towards the cost of it. You don't need to have project twice.
okay.
Or even just the cost.
just the cost would do.
Yeah, just the cost. Take period right after cost. There you go.
Okay.
If it's really being persnickety, you don't need towards the cost. Who pledged $822, period.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
you're right.
We're streamlining.
Yes.
All right. I'll
I'll
make a motion that we approve the verbiage as written.
Second.
Right, all in
Oh,
favor?
Deb Warren got you.
By a nose, by a nose.
All right.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. So now sub-article H. Oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. Go back.
Which is 10,000 for, this is boilerplate, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is boilerplate. I wrote that absolutely tremendous sentence.
I think it's a fine sentence.
I agree.
Okay, is there a motion regarding my fine sentence?
I'll make a motion that we approve the verbiage as written.
I'll second that.
Right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, now, the next bunch are all about debt service so that CPC can borrow, and they have. And each of these, as I understand it, each of the debt service related sub-articles has to be voted separately. That's why there's 5 or 6 of these things.
Right.
And all I did was, they all read the same, except I just changed the subject.
What it was, the debt service is for.
Yeah, what it was, thank you, whatever, what it's covering.
Can you give me what that debt service is? Just so the first one is Green Lawn Cemetery, right?
Yep.
Oh.
Greenlawn Cemetery.
Oh, so this would be architectural improvements, I guess.
Well, yeah, but it's prior year.
Entrance archway.
The entrance archway, yeah, to the Green Lawn Cemetery.
Yeah, there's Town Hall too in there. Right? No.
That's J, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait. No, you're right. It's Town hall and cemetery, you're right. It's both of those in I.
Yep, it is both.
Okay, motion,
I move we approve this recommendation.
all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Nobody
Opposed?
seconded.
I'll second it.
Oh, I'm sorry, catch him. Okay, so now sub-article J, it's the same deal, except now the borrowing was for the library.
Right. I'll move that we accept this wording.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. This is now sub-article K, which again is borrowing, and this was for, and this is another library one.
yeah, they did two, there were two things the library needed.
Yeah. For almost $1 million combined.
Well, there was a lot of bad stuff that had happened.
Yes.
So what was the,
The porch had completely collapsed or almost completely collapsed, and it had become dangerous. And there were some very problematic things that had happened. It's an old building.
And
So-
it's not a very well thought out design. They had wrought iron supports holding up the porch floor.
Right. So they had to do a
Regardless-
lot of, they had to do a lot of work to make it safe.
Regardless of the project, I move that we authorize payment on the debt service.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. I'll second.
thank you.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We are on to sub-article L. And I don't know, like, again, I wrote this one and what I wrote is the best way I can explain it.
What's this one?
It's procedural and
yeah,
it lets any remaining balances in the
Oh,
various
right.
categories roll into,
their general reserve.
I think that's fine, what you said.
Yeah.
Very
So
clear.
this is,
fine enough to make a motion?
wait a minute. This one, which number is this one?
L, it's L.
Okay, and this one is, can you
Reserve.
explain this one again?
It's a general reserve. It's like, like returning.
Oh, this is clawback, right?
No, this is
No.
not yet.
No,
Oh.
it's
This is if revenues are higher than it originally planned,
exactly
excess revenues.
right.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Are we doing any wordsmithing here?
No, this works.
We-
I would,
Okay.
I'll recommend that we accept this wording. I'll move.
I'll second it.
Okay, I just got a request or a suggestion that we do need to do these all as roll call votes.
Oh,
Oh, gosh.
oh,
So at least for this one, let's do a roll call vote. So, Barbara,
I,
Peter,
Aye.
Deborah,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Melanie,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Bob votes aye, unanimous vote in favor.
So I'm gonna try this, and I don't know who gave you that, whatever, but can I make a motion
I know what you're thinking. I was gonna suggest the same thing.
Can I make a motion that we approve all of the articles that we reviewed this evening? So Article 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 12, 16, 20, and CPC subarticles A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
That's it.
That we approve the verbiage of all those articles as written.
I'll second that motion.
Yeah, and as voted with the voice vote.
Right.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay, so there is a motion made and seconded. Again, I guess we need to do a roll call vote on this one. Barbara,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Deborah,
I,
Tim,
Aye.
Melanie,
I,
Ann,
Aye.
Bob votes aye, unanimous vote in favor. Which brings us to subarticle M.
Yeah, that was great, Peter.
Is that legal?
That was excellent. I was on mute, but I was laughing as you read the alphabet there.
I just wanted to, I mean, I assume if
I
somebody
think that's
questioned it,
cool.
we're pretty damn specific, so.
I think
Um,
that seems fair. That seems fair.
Well done.
That was great.
Who seconded that, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay, so M is the clawbacks.
Right.
And we had a discussion about this, mostly about whether we wanted to enumerate the clawbacks rather than just a sum total. And I honestly forget what we decided.
So from what I remember is in the motion of the article, we will be going over each of the dollars and cents for each of the clawbacks. So, X amount of dollars being clawed back from this, X amount clawed back from this, but we can make our recommendation and motion all in one. We used to make a article. It was like, sub article M was for this clawback. Sub article N was this clawback. So now we're just consolidating them all. We still have to read them all in the motion, but we can recommend and print the book with them in one sub article.
I think
Yeah,
that's what
and-
Allison said was okay. Yeah.
Right.
Legal counsel said yes to that approach.
Great.
All right.
So if you want, we can add, a supporting statement tomorrow or just a little explanation or something that lists them all out.
I don't know what is anyone gonna really care?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
Let's let it go forward as is, and if someone needs to speak to it at a town meeting, any one of us can get up and do it.
Yep. Yeah,
Agree.
all right. So, a motion on this one?
I'll make a motion that we approve the verbiage.
I'll second.
All right, Barbara,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Deborah,
I,
Tim,
Aye.
Melanie,
I,
Dan,
Aye.
Bob votes aye, unanimous vote in favor. Okay, so Article 21, we voted last time.
Yep. We got that one.
22, we voted last
Yep.
time.
Got that.
23, we voted last time. 24.
Oh, yeah.
was confirmed with Tony. So what we wrote here was this article brings Nahant's floodplain-related zoning into compliance with the requirements of the National Flood Insurance Program. Most changes are administrative and do not affect what can or cannot be done in a floodplain. The changes also do not change the existing floodplain maps, period, the end. Is that true and accurate?
Yes, yes, it is.
All right, so with the confirmation from Tony,
I make a
I
motion
move
that we
we-
accept. Oh, go ahead, Tim.
I second Peter's motion.
Okay.
I second the motion that Peter was.
So, during discussion here, before you roll call, just full disclosure, there are some decent changes in that this article proposes. If you read the full, it's lengthy. There's a new model bylaw that these amendments follow, which was provided by the feds. And the answer is yes, we need to adopt this in order to be compliant with the National Flood Insurance Program. And the answer is yes, it doesn't change really anything from what was previously allowed or not allowed, and it doesn't change any of the maps or affect people's insurance. There is one unique element where previously certain things were able to be accomplished by way of a special permit, and now they'll have to be accomplished by way of a variance, which is a significant difference as
That's a
far
huge
as
difference.
as far as procedural goes. But that's what the federal government changed.
And
Yeah,
what is the thing that is changing?
That you need a variance instead of a permit.
Exactly.
Permit won't be enough.
No, but what triggers that or what are the kinds of?
All right, so let me explain the difference between a special permit and I served 9 years on the zoning board of appeals, so I know this by heart. So a special permit can be given to anybody, so as long as there is no substantial detriment to the neighborhood. That's the only thing you have to prove to get a special permit. In order to get a variance, you need to prove not only that it's not substantially detrimental to the neighborhood, but you also have to prove that there is a hardship, which could be financial or otherwise, or and the third thing is that there is some topographical issue that's different, that your property is different than your neighbors. So I will tell you, it is virtually impossible to get a variance following that criteria.
Right.
So it is a huge change.
And a special permit grants you the right to do something that is at odds with the town's zoning laws.
Both a special
now
permit and a variance do that.
Doesn't a variance is a permanent change to the zoning laws.
No, a variance is a permanent. Both of them allow you to do what you're doing. And I know what you're saying, and you're kind of right, Bob, that when you get a variance, your piece of property is, I guess, for lack of a better term, you're excluded. That particular item is excluded from the zoning on that piece of property. I guess that's what you're
From that
kind of
zoning
saying.
issue on that piece of property.
On that zoning issue on that piece of
Yeah.
property, correct.
All right, but I think the question at hand here is this significant enough that we want to include it in our recommendation?
I think a full disclosure would, you know, I could imagine being just a general member of the public. I read what we said and it says everything's, yeah, there's no difference. But I think it would be worth saying certain things that are currently allowed by special permit would now require a variance.
That's a great way to say it. And I will tell you this, my 9 years on the zoning board of appeals, I would have to tell you that people would come in requesting a special permit and a variance, or a variance when they only needed a special permit, or a special permit when they needed a variance. Only people I think that sit on the zoning board of appeals and sit on the planning board actually know the difference between the two. I think that's a great way to put that. Certain things that now require a special permit will be required to get a variance.
Will require a variance.
I'm sorry, yes.
I just don't like the phrase certain things. It just sounds,
Certain projects.
development.
And I think we can use projects on this one.
On this one,
Certainly.
yeah.
Requests?
Certain permits, there you go.
Permit requests, yeah.
No, you
Yes.
can't say special.
It's not,
Certain permits.
it's certain permits that now require a special permit will require a variance. And I know it sounds funny that you have permit twice. You can put projects, I guess.
Well, you could also say what once required merely a special permit.
Actually,
Don't-
that's, yeah.
But don't put
What-
merely in there because that's.
Don't
gonna-
put merely, it's
No,
not, yeah.
merely.
Okay,
What once required a special permit will now require a variance.
Yeah.
And is there an easy way to categorize what the certain projects are?
No way.
I think
No.
that's enough of a disclosure that anybody who cares can then go and look at the entire thing.
Good
If you, yeah, maybe you reference the appendix. And if you just throw an XX, we can put the number in once we put the book together tomorrow for you. So people can go and look at the actual red line version of our zoning bylaws, and they'll see, section 10.5 struck, crossed out, where it talks about special permit and how it's being replaced with variance. But to try to summarize section 10.5 in your recommendation, it's going to get too complicated.
Yeah, I don't think it's needed.
you might say, we might say some alterations or modifications or something.
Modification is a good word.
Once required.
I mean, it's essentially, it's a permit. I hate to say it. I know it's kind of double, but it's a permit. Some permits are going to require a special permit, or some permitted projects is probably a good way to put it.
What's wrong
Some
with
permitted
this?
projects will now
What's-
require
What's
If
wrong
you
with
want-
a
this? I mean,
variance.
It's nice, it's simple the way it is, and
I also think let's not say red line version. Let's just say you will find a modified version. Does that work there? Some people don't know what red line version means.
You will find a,
Modified.
Information on the proposal.
yeah,
Yeah, that's better.
The language that is being deleted from the old 10.5 says for new construction or substantial improvements.
Oh,
Yeah, take out red line because people who don't do tracking don't know what that means.
Peter, you'll see the new section 10.5 in the language there that talks about good and sufficient cause and exceptional non-financial hardship, right? You
Yep.
know that
Yeah,
language.
yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things. I think everybody in town who ever thinks about doing a project should spend a couple of hours on the zoning board of appeals.
All right, so we made some changes to this. Is there a motion on our revised text here?
I'll make a motion to approve the verbiage.
I'll second.
So roll call vote. Barbara,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Deborah.
She appears to be out of the room.
Okay, so we'll come-
Abstains.
Tim,
Here she comes. I say aye.
I was running low on battery. I had to get my plug in. Okay, or I.
either we will accept either. Melanie,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
Bob votes aye, unanimous vote in favor. Article 25, stormwater improvements. So this is another one. This was like, wait for Tony.
Okay, I'm here. I thought you're for Article 26. I saw that and that looks good.
Yeah, but we're back on 25.
Five.
So
Mhm.
Dan, were there specific questions here or?
Yeah, in terms of what we want to actually say about this stormwater, I was looking to Tony to flesh it out a bit.
Okay.
I think we want to I think for 25, we we're recommending it. And I think we just need a brief summary. It's continues the project in the lowlands and allows the opportunity for stormwater activity in other parts of the town. But I don't know how in depth we really want to go, as some of the engineering is a moving target.
All right, let me think here. So
This,
if this $500,000 is approved, it will allow us to construct stormwater improvements that have already been designed. It will also allow us to hire engineers to explore stormwater improvements in vulnerable areas to stormwater flooding.
Yeah, I think that's sufficient.
yeah, this continues.
And you could say like, yeah, continues
The-
allows for the continued work in the lowlands, but also provides the town the ability to use this funding for stormwater improvements in all over town or in other areas or in other vulnerable areas of town.
But the only place we're gonna be deploying shovels is lowlands.
Maybe, there's the work that we're doing in the lowlands right now is the only part that has really been fully engineered. There's been other parts that have been studied, but at a high level and not really, they're not ready for not really shovel-ready projects.
So to complete the lowlands area will cost less than 500,000.
It depends.
I'm saying that because you're saying in addition to doing the lowlands, it allows us to do some other things. That means there has to be money left over from the lowlands project.
Yeah, so I don't
Or
know if
did I
you want to call
misunderstand?
out, I don't know, and maybe that's why, maybe calling out the lowlands confuses it. Maybe it should just be more general.
So this article continues the currently existing construction projects related to stormwater drainage
Throughout town.
throughout town and allows for additional engineering for other
And-
potential stormwater projects.
Engineering and construction for other
And construction.
stormwater. Yep.
And I think we want to say this spending is recommended because uncontrolled stormwater has a severe adverse effect on roads and infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
In the community.
Are we taking out lowlands? Up to see did we decide to take out lowlands?
I would say you could leave lowlands, but I would say the article will allow the town to continue construction of
Engineering
DEC
and
loan.
construction.
I'd like to leave
Yeah.
lowlands in because we come up to 26 and immediately, and we want to we want to be able to
Yeah,
kill
so
the
maybe,
vampire.
maybe do to continue engineering and construction.
And you're talking about lowlands now. to
Yep.
continue-
Lowlands and other
Engineering
areas.
and then instead of delete the word designed and say studied. Stormwater improvements in the lowlands and begin engineering and construction in others. You could say vulnerable areas of town impacted by stormwater. Vulnerable areas or vulnerable areas of town impacted by stormwater.
Not just vulnerable areas of town, period, the end.
Period. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's-
You
yeah,
gotta have
that's
it.
fine.
Yeah, there you go. Vol, you're missing an
And
L.
I don't even think you need to do anything else. I think this
agree.
basically spells it out.
Fine.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so do we need that, the next sentence that Dan was,
No, I don't think so.
Nope, let's leave
I
it
think
out.
I'll make a motion that we accept the verbiage as written.
Less
Second,
is more.
Thank you.
okay. Roll call vote, Barbara,
I,
Peter,
Aye.
Deborah.
Aye.
Tim,
I,
Melanie,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
the votes aye, unanimous vote in favor. Dan, there used to be a guy in town whose name was Les Moore. Honest to goodness.
Yeah.
Why does it not like vulnerable areas? Only one space, okay. Well, by that. All right, so the citizens petition we talked about last time, and I don't think there's anything we just wrote,
Oh, we approved it, right?
Yeah, we approved this.
but there's
And we
nothing
approved.
that would cause us to change what we
No.
did previously. No, okay. All right, so that's the end of the articles.
yay,
All right,
Yeah, but wait.
there's
think the-
more.
Yeah, wait, there's more. I think the only thing left is,
the cover
Cover.
letter.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I didn't read it, so I don't know if we can take a moment.
It
you
came
want to take,
2 minutes before the meeting. I think.
Melanie had some suggestions and I had a suggestion.
okay, and I want to change,
Is this the beginning of it?
Hope not.
The consequences of being betwixt
It is-
and between?
I
is
like
not.
betwixt and between.
I do too, but maybe not. at the next
Well,
sentence.
is this the beginning or is?
no, that
Yeah.
there's a paragraph before that that sets
Oh,
it
all
up.
right. All right.
Well, what were Melanie's suggestions and what were Melanie, what were your suggestions?
Just changing the order of the paragraphs. When I read it, this first paragraph sort of hits you pretty hard. It just gives you a bad or a negative image of like, oh my God, the town's in trouble. And then the next paragraph is a little bit more positive, and then it's another positive paragraph, and then the other one sort of puts you back in that emotional state of like, oh my God. So I just wanted to switch the order so that paragraph number 2 is now paragraph number 1. And then when he starts talking about all of the things about Coast Guard housing, that paragraph is 2, followed by the housing paragraph, which is actually number 4, where he goes in a little bit more detail about housing. So that was mine. Tim, what were yours?
My suggestion was just, I didn't like the phrasing developing a town-owned property. Because although it's technically correct, I think it would lead people to think that we're gonna wind up managing a development. And so I had suggested some different just some different words there.
Which paragraph is that?
I will defer to Melanie as to which paragraph that is now.
Yeah, I don't remember. So for me, it should read next year, fiscal 2025 looks to be a betwixt and between year. The consequences of being betwixt and between are that we must contain growth in operating expenses, except for a few special cases. Thankfully, our policy of using fresh cash to help fund capital expenses within the department allows targeted capital spending, such as a new police cruiser, a new ambulance, and new water meters. Then go back up. COVID is thankfully behind us, but so are the COVID relief funds. The large Linway sewer project is complete, and the town is now making regular debt service payments on it. The town continues to prepare the Coast Guard housing properties for sale. We anticipate selling some of those properties in the near future, but as yet, we have not yet sold any of the properties and thus have realized no revenue for them. The balloon payment on the Coast Guard housing properties of XXX is due in XXX 2020X. Inflation and general economic conditions are forecast to remain tight into the coming year. Housing is likely to generate a lively discussion in the town meeting. The Housing Plan Advisory Subcommittee recently completed their report and submitted it to the Selectmen and Planning Board for approval. This housing production plan represents a high-level strategy for the town to produce more housing, both subsidized and market rate, together with the strategy to comply with state housing-related laws. The challenge now facing the town is to develop tactics to accomplish those strategies. The Community Preservation Article 20D represents a first careful tactical step. Specifically, it authorizes studying how developing a town-owned property on Greystone Road will impact our housing inventory, town finances, quality of life, and compliance with the state. This will provide information for residents to evaluate a possible Greystone Road project and could serve as a model for other potential housing projects, which Bob, we need to change to housing development.
Right.
Developments. Yes.
Development, yeah, development.
Yeah.
Melanie, you read that so well. You may be tapped to read a lot of stuff.
Okay. Have you got
So-
the omnibus? Have you got the omnibus assigned yet?
Yes, Peter said he would read it.
Oh, that's right.
I'll read it. I'll read the omnibus. I don't
Bob,
care.
go back down a second. There's one, your last word has to be select man, not select men. I did make that one.
I would say, how about recently as a member of the Board of
Word
Selectmen?
is, yep, right.
So I don't know if Tony or Allison is still on, but I believe the Coast Guard housing property is currently 1.86 million.
And now it has to be select men. You have to change that just a second.
Jeez.
right? Allison, I don't know if you're still here,
Yeah,
but
it's 1866.
oh, I'm so
Very
good.
close.
I
And
And
it's
when-
due January
January 1st,
2025.
5.
Oh, soon.
Yep,
Wow.
2025. Yep. I knew that the numbers and the dates.
I have a comment in the first paragraph, Bob. It's just wording. There's
Yes.
some repetition there. We anticipate selling some of those properties in the near future, but as yet we have not. So, I mean, I
Well,
think it.
we can just get rid of the, yeah.
Well, also you have 2 yets.
I think he's getting rid of it.
As yet, we have not sold
Yeah.
any of the,
There's,
Right.
yeah, this word doesn't. Okay.
And you need another 0 in that 1.8.
Be nice if it were
Yeah, if it were only easy, huh?
1 0 less.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
then-
finally, sorry, go ahead.
oh, you go, Melanie.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and then the last paragraph would be the Community Preservation Act. Nope, go back up. The Community Preservation Act funds continue to be a bright spot, allowing the town to undertake discretionary projects that preserve and improve the town and our quality of life. This year's projects include improvements to the Flash Road Recreation Area, Bailey's Hill, and Fort Ruckman area, plus improvements to beach accessibility. All of the community preservation projects enjoy a state match estimate at almost 50%. And then scroll down, Bob, to our closing statement as the committee. The Advisory and Finance Committee extends a hearty thank you to Mark Callahan. Is that how he pronounces his last name?
Cullinan.
Cullinan, for his many years of service as town administrator and most recently as a member of the Board of Selectmen, respectfully. So that's what I was recommending, Bob, just to sort of switch the paragraphs to sort of give it more continuity. And
Yeah.
also the emotional ride isn't up and down so much.
Well, okay, so I guess that's fine. The reason it's in the order it is I was trying to explain what I meant by a betwixt and between year. So all that stuff about COVID is thankfully behind us, blah, 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 blah. All that is explaining what betwixt and between, what we are betwixt and between.
It's still there though, right?
Yes.
Well, we haven't,
So Bob, why don't you read it as is, since I just did it the way I thought it should go. And then the committee can decide which way they like to hear it.
Well, can we read it on the page the way it is written right now?
Yeah.
Just ourselves.
Can I make a quick comment on this at the end there, you talk about the housing production plan. And the committee was intending to meet tonight, but they didn't end up having quorum, so it got moved to next week. So technically, when this book goes to print, the Housing Production Committee will not have yet forwarded their plan to the Board of Selectmen and the Planning Board for approval. So I don't know if you want to adjust that to say something along those lines, that, you know, as
Is
of,
expected to forward.
yeah, I think that's more accurate. And the other thing I was gonna say was, it's very nice, the comment at the end from Mark. I thought you guys had also talked about, and you just may have forgot,
Oh,
about
Tony,
throwing a comment about Tony P.
yes, we need to put that in there as well. Thank you. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, it's funny, and I don't want to get too long with, pointing out different people, but Mike Raworth served on many committees. I wish I knew how many committees he served on. And was a member of that housing production plan committee. So I don't know if we want to mention anything, but
Yep.
And the ZBA, right?
he was on the zoning. Yeah, he was. He was actually the housing. I think he was the representative from the zoning board of appeals to the housing production committee.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, I mean, he was. Like I said, I can't recall the number of different committees. I think he was on the Coast Guard station committee. That was when we got money to renovate and buy the Coast Guard station. And so he was on, I don't know if we,
He's going to be recognized on the back on the annual town report book.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Along with
Yeah.
Lisa Arena and Bobby Joe Blair.
Yes. Okay. All right.
I think that looks pretty good the way it is. The cover letter.
So I wanted to make a change in the housing paragraph.
Wait a minute, let me spell Tony's, it's P-I, his name.
Yeah, go ahead.
P-I-E-R-A-N-T-O-Z-Z-I.
Pierantozzi.
Yep.
Nice French name.
And I didn't hear everything people were saying about Mike Raworth.
Yeah, if he's going to be recognized on the back of the annual town meeting report, I don't know that we need to do anything. I just,
So is that our booklet, or is that the smaller?
No, that's the smaller booklet.
I don't know. I kind of like to.
Okay, well, the committee would like to recognize the passing of Michael Raworth.
You don't recognize, you recognize him, not his,
Yeah.
or commemorate.
The contributions of Michael Raworth.
Yes, exactly. RAUWO, yeah.
I think maybe also before acknowledges.
Sorry, whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. Committee also acknowledges, possibly.
Yep. Also acknowledge the many contributions of Mike Raworth, who
Oh, you're gonna list
served the
everything?
town, on I think
In
I almost want to
many capacities.
in many capacities, yeah, because I think
He
I
was the
wanna say, I think-
president of the Non-Preservation Trust also.
right, and didn't he wasn't he on the school committee? Yeah, I think that's fine.
I think we need to take out the first also. Go up to the second line where we're in the Pierantozzi sentence. That one, we don't need that also.
We don't need two also.
Yeah, we don't.
I think it's great.
It's a-
So
The question is, do we reorganize it or
So no-
leave it as is?
Yeah. And Tim,
well,
I
can
think
I offer my suggestion on the housing section? Instead of, I didn't like developing a town-owned property because that I think is a little bit, it could easily lead someone astray. And I wanted to say how a private development of the currently town-owned property on Greystone Road might impact or would impact as opposed to will. down like 2 lines from there,
Oh, here.
developing. Yeah. How a private development of the currently town-owned property.
Do you think you need to have the word private in there?
I was wondering about that as well.
We aren't
we do-
intending to develop it ourselves, are we?
No, but I don't believe that it's I don't think it's needed.
I
Okay,
agree.
We're discussing the development of town-owned property, not whether it's private or public or, it's just, we're studying the development, not a private development, but the development.
okay. And little later on in that sentence, instead of will, either
Impact.
would or might.
I would
After
say
Greystone
might.
Road.
Might impact our housing, yeah.
Thank you.
There was something, go up again in this paragraph. There was another little, okay.
There is no more up.
uh, oh, high level. Shouldn't high level be hyphenated? It's tiny, but
Deborah is the czar of hyphenation. Or
Sorry.
the czarina of hyphenation.
Yeah.
She's the
Right.
she's the hyphen dash czar.
ooh,
Yep.
shouldn't that be hyphenated, Deborah?
High dash level, I don't know where you're going.
High dash level, high level should be hyphenated in
Oh,
front
yeah,
of it.
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. There we go. Now we have to decide about the order that
Okay.
Melanie was talking about.
Yep.
Oh, I knew that. You
Oh,
didn't have-
yeah.
I like the idea of starting with something positive.
I agree. I like the COVID sentence is fine. That explains sort of COVID behind us, positive. But so are the relief funds. It's right there that I would put in Melanie's idea of the consequences of being that sentence, the consequences of being betwixt and between, that little paragraph goes before the large Linway. Try that. Right there. Put this, the consequences one of that whole paragraph. Yep. Put that there. And that gives it a positive start. We have to contain growth, except for a few special cases. But thankfully, our policy allows us to do some positive things. Doesn't that read a little more positively?
Mm-hmm. And so you have free cash, but what about including stabilization in that as well?
Well, yeah.
I mean, our policy of growing our stabilization fund is
I agree.
really important.
Yeah, I think that should be in that first paragraph. It's very important, very positive. And let's use the word positive. That's such a positive word.
Thankfully, our positive policy of how we use free cash and how we're building our stabilization fund.
So are we funding the stabilization fund from free cash?
I don't know.
Yes,
Allison?
we are. Yes, we are.
Well, we
Oh,
can
good.
say, thankfully, our policy of using free cash to help fund capital expenses allows.
And stabilization fund.
Well, that's sort of,
Well,
but that's,
I think it's an important thing for people to understand that, because I have been questioned on the stabilization fund, like how much are we going to put in there and why do we have to have so much? And I mean, the fact that we have a strong stabilization fund and we've been putting in, you know, I mean, it's a rainy day fund. It's a bank account.
But that's a separate sentence from the funding capital expenditures.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, right, I guess.
Then we could say another positive, you know, I don't know what we want to call it. Another positive something. Another positive use of free cash, yes.
It's to fund,
Has been increasing.
yeah,
Has been-
stabilization
has-
fund.
It has been our ability to increase the stabilization fund. Is to grow.
Positive use of free cash is to grow our stabilization fund.
Wait, another positive use of free cash, I would say has been.
Yeah, has been to
Has
grow.
been our ability to grow.
Yeah, I like that.
Our
Feels-
ability to grow.
It feels like too many words.
Let's,
And I would call it our stabilization fund. Because it's there for all of us. There you go. And you even could call it our town stabilization fund. I like to get the word town in that first paragraph.
I'm blanking on spelling stable.
stabilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But call it our town stabilization fund.
Well,
It's probably an E in there, right? No.
Stabilization, but put our town. There we go. I like to get the word town in there.
if you
Our
think of
towns.
something, Bob, how about, just free cash is also, increased our ability or whatever, not increased, but.
I just want to make sure we get the word positive in there, in that first paragraph.
Yep.
You know what's weird?
Why can't we just say is growing our stabilization fund, period? Get rid of all this. So another
Okay.
positive use of free cash
Is growing.
I'm just a little confused by the beginning of this paragraph that says we must contain growth in operating expenses. And now we're saying, oh, and we're using free cash to buy these things and we're adding to the, I don't know, somehow I'm a little confused by those two things.
I see what you're saying.
Because we have been able to contain growth and, contain growth, then all these other good things happen.
Right,
Or-
good point.
Or are you trying to say we have to contain because it's a tough year? The budget is tight. Which do you mean?
Yeah, the second half of the paragraph doesn't seem to say the budget is tight.
So
What? Maybe you don't
our
mean.
stewardship of spending in general has allowed us
Yes.
to augment the stabilization fund.
Very nice, Dan.
Oof. You writing a proposal?
That was all day.
our stewardship of what, Tom? Dan?
Of town overall spending has allowed
Of
us to
all-
augment the stabilization fund.
That's the next sentence down. It's not this one.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. Yes.
And allows targeted capital. And you need an and there.
And there, yes,
And
definitely.
allows targeted capital spending such as, right? And actually, technically, and Deborah will agree, you're technically supposed to say, which helps fund capital expenses within the department and allows such targeted capital spending. That's where the such goes. such. Correct, Deborah, right?
Um,
And then you take the such out in front of the police, right? That's where the such goes. As, take that
Yep.
such as a, see?
Oh, okay, okay.
So police cruiser and ambulance are in for this year, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I
Well, we
mean,
have to vote the ambulance.
still, yeah, still
Yeah.
waiting on the, yeah, still, but we're still waiting on the fire truck.
Correct.
And new water meters, another positive. Yeah, I think that looks great. And,
Okay, now
and I
what-
think it
what
makes
are-
it positive. Oh,
Okay,
And-
one other thing, I don't like few. I would say except for some special cases. Then it doesn't sound so odd that we've said betwixt and between, except for some special cases. Then, see what I'm trying to say? Few sounds a
Yep.
little few.
Okay, and then if we're doing it this way, I think we just take out the whole Linway Sewer project. And this second paragraph deals entirely with Coast Guard housing.
Yes,
Probably, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
do we need anything in this, talking about the timeline or the urgency that we are following to get this property sold? And get the money in hand and get the tax revenue flowing? Do we need a sentence or two of how we're working feverishly to get it did?
I don't know. I don't.
Working feverishly.
We did have the town meeting that went into, well.
Melanie had another suggestion. Let's stick with her suggestions. That is the next paragraph about housing should follow the Coast Guard housing. So as we're discussing housing all in one place. See, so this one moves up. Or that one moves down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
and
one
it
moves-
almost aligns. Well, I guess not.
that goes right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Melanie wanted to have, see, the housing follows housing.
Yes, exactly.
And then we get to end with the bright spot.
Yep. Yep.
See, it's nice to end with a bright spot.
But back to Dan's question, and
Oh, now back to Dan. Sorry, Dan.
we want to
I was finishing up with what
reinforce
Melanie.
that we are feverishly working on this,
On what?
on getting the Coast Guard housing properties sold.
I don't think it's needed.
I don't either.
I think that January 25 speaks for itself.
That's a
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
Yep.
Do we want to add a phrase to reinforce that it was a town meeting vote that we sell them?
Per the town continues to prepare the Coast Guard housing properties per
As
yeah,
per.
as directed by the 2021 town meeting. I like that.
Yep.
That way we're continuing to go in that direction, or people understand that's what we're continuing to do.
Yep.
Oh, and we have this kind of floating sentence, which we may not need at all.
Yeah, I think we eliminate that.
I think this looks pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
We don't have to include every little thing.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's not that's not,
That is perfect, perfect level.
See, and we end with, I like ending with the CPC bright spot. So that's another,
Yep.
positive way.
And- Yep. All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and make a motion that we approve the cover letter as written.
Second,
roll call vote. Barbara,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Deborah.
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Melanie,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So unanimous vote in favor. Yay. That is it for
Wrap?
And I
tonight.
want to do something that I always do. I want to thank Melanie because the way she rearranged this, it reads more positively, and it reads in a more logical fashion to have the housing all follow in one section. So thank you, Melanie.
Well, thank you, Barbara. You're, as always, very sweet.
All right.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, can I second that motion? So this is the last meeting really before town meeting.
Well, other than the script night.
Yeah, other than the dress rehearsal night.
That'll be
Um,
Thursday.
And when is that?
That'll be Thursday, May 16th, in person at the town hall.
You have a time?
We'll probably do a 6:30.
Wow,
Okay.
like that.
So May 16th, which is a Thursday night. Dress rehearsal.
And we wear our costumes?
Yeah, we do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makeup. I hope the makeup be there.
Wouldn't that be funny if Tim showed up in a costume? Oh, that would be
Yeah,
hilarious.
ninth hole at 9.
Yeah, exactly. So the 18th is town meeting.
Yes.
And what time we normally meet ahead of town meeting? So town meeting starts at 11?
12:30.
Oh, 12:30.
Check-in usually starts around 11:30 or 11. I think
Yeah.
you guys typically meet around that time too.
Yeah, we generally
I'm
convene.
sorry,
like-
Tony, what time did you say on the 18th?
Our meeting starts at 12:30. I think you guys usually get there probably around 11
11.
to do
Yeah,
some
and-
housekeeping motions.
Right, and it's an official meeting, so we're gonna convene a full meeting,
Mhm.
need a quorum, the whole bit.
Yeah, and Melanie, we meet in a room that's downstairs. I can explain where it is.
Okay, thank you.
And there's plenty of parking and everything, so that's easy.
Yeah, you get there early, you get a good parking space.
We get to park in some of the official spots.
And the Lions will be selling hot dogs.
And we get little peppermints at our station.
Yes, we get little hard candies and things like that at
And
the
water bottles.
and water bottles and little signs that give our name out in front.
Yes,
Now,
Yeah.
I have a request. I think this got resolved. We don't need to get another one of those big plastic notebook thingies with the metal. They're huge,
The
Allison?
binders.
The 3-ring
binders.
binders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's try and minimize our impact, our carbon footprint on
Thank you.
town meeting. Yeah, I agree. I don't need a notebook with all of the stuff.
I have
Okay.
one from before. I still have one.
I think I
I'm
brought
good with
mine up to
that
town.
because it's a lot to make them. So
Yes.
if you don't want them, then that's
Nope.
fine with
I-
me.
We
A
don't
jumbo
want them.
paper clip would be fine.
And
Or one of those nice big paper, the kind of claw paper clips that hold better.
Yeah,
Okay.
the black ones, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. And I got a drawer full of them if anybody needs them.
and on
Remember, I
on
used to work for a bank, or I
that,
still
on
do.
that Thursday meeting, they're gonna give out a script. I mean, like
Right.
it's literally a script that you
Right.
read. These are the words you need to read in front of town meeting.
Right. And we usually go through it and there might be some edits, if I
Mhm.
recall.
Yep.
And we allot them at that meeting, right?
Yes.
now is that when Dave tells us which of us is going to say what.
No, he
Wait.
reserves that surprise for town meeting day.
Yeah,
Oh, when-
Melanie, I needed to let you know that is a surprise. All of a sudden, you're sitting there, and Dave Conlon will say, and you're just sitting there, and he'll say, Melanie, and that means you're the one who goes up to the podium to read that
No,
one.
no.
No?
We know who's gonna read the
Go
motion.
ahead.
We
Well,
don't.
yeah,
know-
no, it's who seconds the motion. So
Second.
like Bob will get up there and read, and Dave will just look down the line and say, motion seconded by Mr. Barber. Or,
Exactly.
you know, whoever. He
That's
just-
right.
And it's funny because he just bounces around. He doesn't.
That's right, Melanie. Sorry, but
He's-
yeah,
And I think he said to me once, he said, whoever's moving. He said, so whoever, you know, makes it look like they've made a motion, you know, a signal to second, that's who I generally go with. If you catch my eye, you've made a motion or you've made a movement, that means you seconded it. So it is pretty funny.
and Melanie, I can give you more, but we'll be sitting at a table not on the stage.
Yeah.
So Dave Conlon is up on the stage and he has the big screen and everything, and we'll be at a table that's right in front of the stage, and it'll have a white paper on it with a skirt. So that
We face the audience.
we face the audience.
Yeah.
And there'll be little name tags that'll already be there, so you don't have to worry about somebody. I
Well,
guess
wait a minute. Melanie has lived in this town for several years, correct?
My apologies. That's
Yes.
right. Sorry.
So you've been to town meetings, so you've seen it.
Yes.
All right.
Sorry.
No
But yeah,
worries.
we usually put together the motions and we'll follow your spreadsheet on who wrote the recommendation for which articles.
Yeah.
And we'll try to follow that for the motions.
Is it too early to make a move that we move along?
No, just a
No.
little- two more very fast housekeeping. Allison, I will send you this edited version. I'm gonna do a little bit of just cleanup of things that are bolded and things that aren't bolded and stuff like that. So first thing tomorrow morning, I'll email that to you.
So that and this letter.
Cover letter, yes.
Yep.
Okay, and
And are
Um,
you around, Bob, tomorrow?
yes,
If for any reason we run into any issue and we need to reach out to somebody, you'll be available?
Yep.
Okay.
and
I'm home
we can-
too, so.
Well, Allison, am I supposed to be meeting with you in person?
No, so as long as I get this from Bob, I'm all set. I can pull it all together.
Oh, so I
was
don't
just-
need to be doing the book with you.
Nope, I should have it all taken care of.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That's great.
All right, and
Oh,
we
you know
will-
what? We
we
have a
will
whole,
hold-
we have a whole bunch of minutes that we have to approve, but we can do that at our last meeting.
Thank you. That's about exactly what I was gonna say.
When
Not
you
tonight.
say last meeting,
Uh,
you mean the one right before town meeting?
Yeah,
The
we can
Thursday.
either do it then or on the Thursday dress rehearsal, either one.
Yeah, either
Okay.
one.
All right, cool. All right, motion to adjourn?
Excellent, thank you.
Second.
All in favor, Barbara,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Deborah,
I
Tim,
Aye.
Melanie,
Aye.
Dan.
Aye.
I
And who
vote-
seconded? Oh, sorry.
I did.
Okay, thank
And
you.
folks, it's not
Good.
even 9:30. Look at that.
Yeah, baby.
We're getting better at this.
Hey.
Congratulations and thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you, and especially Allison.
And
Yes.
Allison, yes.
Thank
Okay.
you. Allison.
so
excellent. So I will see you all on whatever it is, Thursday, the 16th, or walking around town, one or the other.
okay.
Right.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
Good
Everyone.
night.
Bye-bye.
Good job.
thank you.
Good night, all.
Take
Good
care.
Good night.